Welcome back, everybody, to the single-player world. This is a very exciting place right now because I've finished off some really cool stuff, and I've been pretty excited to show you guys what's been going on. So I think I did show you this this boat over here, the bridge. I don't think this was completed, looking good, and now these three townhouses are pretty close to being completed. And first of all, today's episode is going to be a pretty awesome episode. We've got a lot of big things to do in the world in terms of little things, weirdly enough, but it's a little big thing. It's something you won't notice, but it makes a large difference to myself building in here and just the world in general. So that's an important thing. And basically, let's get started. First of all, we've had a Twitch stream, or two Twitch streams in between the last video and this one, and I've had some really cool stuff that has happened here. Of course, these townhouses, we've gone ahead, added in some details to the outside here. They're looking really good from this side. And if you're not very familiar with this, where we are in the world, maybe you're new to the world and you guys aren't aware of where we're standing, that is the main ship over there, the docks over there, the market area is behind in that direction, and these townhouses we built probably about close to 20 episodes ago, to be honest. We just haven't finished off on this side here. So looking at these from this side, I think they're looking pretty good. This one's got an entrance here, an entrance on the other side, so basically two townhouses. This one is going to be a large one in the middle there. So from here to the other side is a full townhouse, and this one over here is also going to be two entrances, so split up. So realistically, 5 separate families could live in these. They're trying to really show off the wealth of the city, and I think it does. I think it looks like a pretty wealthy looking townhouse. Now, one thing I thought was really cool about this one is, even though I say it's only got that one entrance on that side, it's also got a cellar on this side, and I thought that would be, even though it goes nowhere, a really cool add-on to this, which we can do some really cool stuff. I think we can store some things down there and maybe have a little bit of a secret going on as well. So be prepared. We've got some stuff happening in that spot over there. That will be a thing we do eventually. Another thing, let's look at the bridge, and we will get started with our own special builds in this episode very soon, but I'm very excited to show you some of these smaller little things that we've got around here. So going over the canal over here with this bridge, I think it's a very cool look. Look at that down there. Imagine when that is gone, we've got a proper full decorated area on either side. It's gonna look fantastic, but that's still a matter of time. It's all just a matter of time before this comes along. And it's kind of weird because we look at this and we see something, and I feel, at least, maybe not everyone watches as well. I mean, me being here, I have to do everything, but as it goes, I don't notice how this place is getting more and more crazy as the day progresses. But really, this, if you compare this 20 episodes ago, that wasn't there. There was a lot of stuff that just didn't exist. This wasn't here. It's a very it feels like a very gradual process, but when you look at it, it's actually very fast how quick we're going with this. But going down here, there's this little ramp, which I thought was kind of cool to have one going on one side and one going on the other side. And then this little piece down the bottom, which it's an interesting thing. I thought it added on some extra detail to this. Coming down here, you can get onto your boat. I think it's just a nice little thing to add on there. And it's really not too crazy, not too special, but it's special to me. And I think it's a nice little touch. So that is that area done. This over here, however, I thought, you know, we've got to improve that a little bit. And we came up with the cyan stained clay and the trapdoors over there. And I think that looks pretty good. My opinion, working very well. Now, how about we get going on today's episode? And the task at hand today is, as I say, one that is a big deal, but not really too much to the world in terms of looks, but in terms of getting stuff done for myself. And also, it will be for looks, but mostly for making things more efficient. Let's put it that way, because this is a survival world, of course. I've got to walk around, pick up every single item that goes past. I don't even know why the hell, or how did that get there? Interesting. But yeah, we've got to pick up every single item that we use. So coming all the way down here for storage is a real pain in the butt, because we are not working in this area very often. We're normally all the way over there or over there. And realistically, we need a more central hub for all of our storage over there. And really, if you look at the storage, I'm a little bit embarrassed to show you guys what this is, but yeah, there is really no organization at all. It was once organized until a friendly creeper jumped down from the ceiling, and yeah, you guys know the rest. So what we're going to do is we're going to be killing 2 birds with 1 stone, and that expression really, I don't know if it, I don't know the expression, but you know what? We're going to be doing a very cool thing here. So first of all, we have to move out our storage area to build in here. I want to build in here. And what is this building? Of course, originally it was meant to be the crane office. So this crane that pulls stuff off of the ship, it was meant to be just the office that does stuff for that. But I feel like it's a customs office. I think that makes more sense. I don't know why a crane would need an office. And to be completely fair, I don't know why I didn't think it was a customs office. But a customs office would be a great thing to have here. And really to think about what you could put into the city, what you could stop from coming into the city is important as well. And I think that is a cool thing to consider. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to go ahead, empty all these chests, clear this area out, and then we can start adding in a bit of life and a bit of story to this side. It's all been cleared out and it's looking very, very good. In fact, I've cleared this all out. And not only have I cleared it all out, I've also gone ahead and put in the very basic layout of how this is going to be. So I've been trying my hardest to try and think about the way that we could be doing these builds, these interiors, which we spoke about in the last episode, how we can make this something we can replicate over and over again in terms of basically making some rules for ourselves. So when someone asks me, hey, Jansey, how do you do that? I can say, well, you know, you got to think about this, or you got to do that. It's sort of like when someone says, how do you do a roof? And then you start off, well, you know, you got to think about the base. Are you going to do the base first in like an even number? That might make your roof not look too easy. Might make it a bit difficult. So think about it that way. That's kind of the thing I'm going for. But it might not be quite as easy because this is very subjective though. And you can see I haven't quite finished everything. But what I've done, because this area doesn't feel like my old storage room at all. I'll tell you what I'm kind of getting from this and how I'm doing it and what I'm thinking of. So basically, the first rule is I'm throwing a lot of my rules out of the door. That's the first one. So as I'm walking in here, I've decided obviously the height levels. These things are beautiful. Even not just a floor. Look at that. That's just a 2-block drop. Why? I think it just makes a nice little bit of a thing. Same as here. We've got this, which was already here. 2 up, and also this over here. Just creating different levels, which kind of spread the room out quite a bit. If you have a look, the room's just very spread in different places, and it allows you to break it up. So if I was to put, say for instance, this thing was all one level, I would really just be able to put maybe a table or something in the middle, and that would make my whole build very, very boring and honestly not too eventful. But when I do this, I think it means this area here is really accounted for in its own right. So filling up areas, I think that's a good check over there. Making different floors definitely does help out with that. So let me do that. And also, I can tell it's dark outside. Is it going dark? Yeah, look at that. It's nighttime right now. So what we'll do is we'll quickly sleep. And then I've got some ideas for this place as well. Of course, this is just the first layer of the interiors, building this very basic shape. So walls, floors, and maybe ceilings. Maybe. I don't know if I want to include that in my first stage of what I do, I guess. But I'll quickly show you this. Look at this. This is where the temporary storage is. So around here we've just gone. Okay, I went to the one set of chests that had nothing in it. Okay, 2. Well, these are kind of my building chests, things that I use all the time. Sort of just a quick selection tool. Then of course we've got, for instance, all of the stone together so that we don't have issues trying to find all that. So those are just basic blocks that we don't really need. This is going to be unorganized and or disorganized. And the reason for that is it really isn't that important. Like this stuff is if I'm looking for some miscellaneous stuff, that's where it's going to be. So those are just some thoughts of what I've done, and it feels so good to have everything in one place in some order as well. It's so good. You guys might not realize how many times I click through those chests on a daily basis just looking for one block when I could just go to one chest. It's crazy. So what I'm thinking of doing here is having the customs officers, or at least the chief of customs. I don't know what the kind of guy that runs customs is called, but that person will be staying in this room over here. When you think about an office, when I think about like a factory office, not that I've been in many factories in my life, but when I think about it, I think about the office normally having a window, and I kind of get this factory feel from this place here. So I thought giving a window in here would be kind of cool to overlook what's happening. If the guy looked out, he would be able to see stuff going on down there. I think that'll be really cool. In fact, maybe even another one over here may very well work. I don't know if it will, but it may just break this room up as well to make it a bit more interesting. So no cauldrons there. If we do that there and that there, And I've brought a few different blocks. I normally use the white stained glass, but I thought maybe we could bring the gray and the blue in case the blue looks a bit too much. The gray might be a good stand-in to get a little bit of color into this build. So we'll go out here. Yeah, blue's a little bit too much. Good thing I brought the gray. And I brought the white just as a complete fallback over there in case that didn't work. But that's quickly not going to be the case. So we'll put those in there. Take that back. That's definitely a lot better. However, it doesn't solve the issue of trying to get a bit of color in the place. So that's going to definitely be up to whatever we put on the floor. So the next stage of decorating, which this one over here, what I'm thinking of is this stage of decorating is really just the wall decorations, if the very basic things like windows and stuff like that. I'm trying to make some rules, of course. So I guess that kind of would be the one that I would do. And maybe over here, there, and there. No. Let's just get that over there. That, like, there, perhaps. Yeah, it's not too bad. I think it could look a little bit nicer, but we'll see how this turns out. So this is going to be the next stage, of course, along with the next one after that, which is going to be decorating the actual place. And really, it's just fixtures and then furniture. That's my thought, I guess. Fixtures, then furniture, if I had to break it up. Over here, we also have to do some stuff, because we've got this piece here, which is the control panel for the crane. But we need something for the guy to have behind him when he's operating it. So we'll have to think about that as well. Well, I think that went quite well. I've gone ahead, I've finished off quite a bit of stuff there, but I thought I'd just stop here and show you exactly what the outside of the city is looking like. I think this is looking pretty cool. I'm actually, this angle is an angle I don't stand. I'm actually enjoying this quite a bit. In fact, what might be good is just have a look at it with the fog switched to off over there. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Well, that's more vibrant than I was expecting. But yeah, that is crazy. That is, yeah, it's just crazy how you've got this whole thing going on over here now. Really just kind of framing this part off here. I'm very, very excited, obviously. It's looking really, really cool. So let's head on in here. We've got a new addition to the outside, being the chimney there. And what that is something I'll show you very soon. And basically just think about this chimney. And even though it's not impressive by any stretch, there's something cool about the idea of it. Now, I think it's something to apply to some builds. Maybe if your build is lacking a little bit of heart, maybe try to think of things like this, I guess. Not necessarily a chimney, but you'll see what I mean. But let's have a look around in here first. First of all, it looks pretty well furnished now. For this guy that I had the issue, I decided I'd put a chair so that he can be comfortable while operating the crane. And not only that, it kind of fills up the area. We've got a little crafting table over there to look like a mat that's down by the feet. I don't know, just something to try out there. I thought it would look cool. The bookshelves, which are actually slabs over there, just to make it look a little bit more three-dimensional instead of a flat thing like that. I think that's a cool little trick that I'm using there. It works very, very well. And of course, just framing off the windows. That's exactly what we did there in a light. Pretty much exactly what we did there. We've got some things that are obviously containers to hold stuff that have obviously been emptied. What Customs does, you know how they take things, they inspect it. Is it cool to come in the city? Is it not cool to come in the city? That's what happens. We quarantine these things in here, and obviously these are things that have been released or whatever. Got some real good safety containers over there in case there's obviously something pretty bad in there. What I'm thinking, and this is with the story of what's coming in here, is the things based around this whole place here. This is meant to be a city that's kind of precious, you know. They don't want themselves having weapons and explosives and dangerous things in here, because of course it's meant to be a peaceful life, a very over-the-top, fake, perfect place, I guess, hopefully. I don't know. We'll see how it turns out, but currently that's what I've got in my mind. And stuff like weapons that have been claimed, explosives that have been claimed, are pretty cool things, I think, to add in here, things that would really not have been allowed in here for some whatever reason. They were being brought in here. I think that's a cool thing. And by the way, I thought this was pretty awesome, is just some inspection tables for the hell of it up here. They look pretty cool. And of course, just the bins and stuff. Normal old things. How's this looking? Ah, yes. This over here. I don't know if I like this or if I like the plain better. This kind of looked like a real broken old curtain on the windows, whereas this one was the one I originally went with, and that looks like a very cool new one. I don't know which one I like. Maybe I'll just keep them both there together. the reason I did that, by the way, is when I walked in here without it, it just looked very plain from down here. All you could see was an open window and that map over there. But as soon as you put that there, right there, I'll show you what it looks like without it. It just filled up that area a lot nicer in terms of the depth you're looking at over there. Look at this. So that looks like kind of like it's got a little bit less thought out, I guess. And as soon as you put that in there, it's a small detail, but I think it works quite well. There we go. Just brings in something else that just kind of breaks it up. I think it's important to do that. And of course, just the smaller little average sort of add-ons to this place. That's pretty much all that is over there, and this over here. But now what I was going to say is with this furnace, and before, okay, let me stop this one more time with the furnace. And before I go any further, also if you guys have got any ideas for this area, I would appreciate them in the comments because, of course, I haven't been able to come up with everything yet. There's a lot of space that we can still fill, a lot of stuff we can remove, can add. Honestly, it's awesome to have your guys' responses to put stuff in the world, and it happens very, very often where we do get something cool in the comments because, of course, there's a lot more minds working than just one, and we get some really, really awesome stuff. But back to the furnace for the final time, and what I mean with things like this, of course, is adding a little furnace. I know it's nothing impressive. It's a furnace. It's here to burn anything that we get rid of, for instance, contaminated stuff, things that you don't want in here. And just adding a chimney through here all the way to the top. I know it kind of seems a bit silly to see this, and it goes all the way out there, but adding something like that on the inside that works its way onto the outside just brings in that little bit of an extra touch. And this is what I mean by giving it a little bit of heart, is things like that along those lines. For instance, the chimney coming out from the outside to the inside, it really connects the two pieces. And I know it seems pretty silly and it doesn't seem like a big deal, but all those little big deals really add up. There we go. They really add up to have a really nice, interesting feeling to the city, and it's what makes everything in here, at least, feel like it's really well connected. And I think it looks pretty cool, to be honest, as well. But just when you see stuff like that from the outside, you might not necessarily connect it, but I think there's somewhere deep down inside when you walk through these builds where you realize, someone else's builds, when you realize that they've connected things up together, and it just looks completed and finished. So that's a little tip, of course. Just putting chimneys on things can look cool, but it might not have the same level of heart in it as just putting everything else together, the chimney, the inside, the outside. Oh, that's looking really cool. I'm looking forward to being able to use this place at night. I think that'll be really awesome to look at. Look at that. That's very, very cool. Alrighty, so I think for today, guys, that will do this episode. I'm pretty happy with the way this has turned out. I'm very happy that we've moved the storage all the way over to there. But thank you very much for watching this episode, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.